Hello, welcome to the launch of the One Day Special. Now I'm going to be handing over to Kathryn in a moment, but let me quickly introduce you that this is the That's Crafty 3 A5 flower collection of stamps. If I counted right, I counted 11 stamps in total for an amazing £31.97. But don't forget, with our Easter Extra Flexi Buy, you can split that into 3 Flexi Buy payments of £10.66, 232083. Lots on the show in this hour, but Kathryn is here to demonstrate. Do shop ahead. I know you'll have your eye on those amazing papers, because I know I have. We'll get Kathryn. I'll disappear and we'll get Kathryn in shot. So let's have a look at that on a slide. Beautiful. And I'll let Kathryn take over.
Yes, good evening everybody. Do you know, I've been looking forward to this as well. We've got some fabulous products for you. I've got lots of samples to show you as well. So with the One Day Special, as Fiona said there, you've got 3 individual A5 stamps. You've got 11 individual elements within those 3 sets there as well. Do take advantage of the saving, and of course take advantage of the Flexi Buy as well. Now, gorgeous images. We've got some lovely florals, lots of ways you can decoupage these. You can use your different mediums, and we've got tons of mediums on the show as well. I'm going to bring in some of the samples that we've got actually here from the One Day Special. The design team, I know this is by Silk because it says on the back, design team have done an incredible job as always. Just look at the layering up. These are absolutely gorgeous. These are your go-to florals, aren't they? You're going to find so many reasons for using these. Do you know, with the poppy as well, doesn't have to be red, it can be purple. You've got all sorts of wonderful detail in these as well, but not too complicated to add your own colours, to add your ink. If you want to keep it very monochrome, you can do as well. If you really want to go to town with the colours, you certainly can do. I like that, that's lovely. Lots of variation here from these 3 sets. No 2 samples are like each other at all. Now, we have got an awful lot of product coming up, including we've got some grey board for you as well. We've got some door hangers and some various shapes. And from the door hangers, you get these little pop-outs as well, which make our wonderful trading coins. So again, these are just perfect, aren't they, for stamping on and creating those little images. Aren't these pretty? Really lovely, absolutely gorgeous. I do apologise for the white paint on my finger. I've had my finger in white gesso while I've been prepping. There. These are absolutely gorgeous. Your trading cards as well. As I say, we've got so much to show you, but we're looking at the One Day Special right at the moment. Absolutely adore these. Brand new as well for today, not been seen before. Item number 232083. There we go. So that's our One Day Special. Now, we do have these individually available as well. So if you've got a favourite, then of course you can go for your favourites as well. And we've got some more stamps to show you, again available individually. If you want the One Day Special, have a look at the individuals as well. Same item number if you want these particular 2. Look at these. These are extra ones. So if you want to pop these into your basket as well, you can do. Just gorgeous. Love these for mixed media, for your backgrounds, for your, do you know, if you're just sort of building those layers up, if you want the focal point, you've got everything you need here. So £13.99 each, and we're calling them set 5, set 6, set 7, and we've got 3 and 4. Don't know why they weren't at the beginning, but they're not. But anyway, to set 3 right through to set 7. So all those individually from the One Day Special if you want them. These are also included, but don't forget the value is in the One Day Special. 607839 is the item number for, of course, those individuals. Now, we're already very busy for the next item. Wow, we've got 2 different options. Now, you get your lights or your darks. So you've got your papers here, the A4 papers. These are incredible value. So you've got your toppers, so to speak, there, but of course you can snip into those if you want. You've got your backgrounds. Do you know, if you love those messy backgrounds, if you love the inked look and the spritzers, but you don't want to get messy, then these are the perfect option. Perhaps you like the messy crafting, but you want something that's ready done for you as well. And again, I must say, take inspiration from the papers, because it helps you build up those layers, and it also helps you put your colours together if you're not sure as well. Really love these. This is just one of the sets I'm showing you here. So this set here, we've got the lights and we've got the brights. What's it we've got as well? Lights and brights and darks and brights. That's the one. So look at this. Watch out for some of this detail in the stencils as well. Now the GSM is 170. You're getting 14 individual sheets. They're not double-sided, so you don't have to worry about the other side. And of course, you can overstamp, you can spritz, you can ink, you can do all those other things as well. Got to tell you, I didn't say it at the one day special, I don't think. Everything's designed by Melina Dahl as well, which I'm sure everybody knows about Melina by now. You'll have seen Joe Channon here on many occasions with That's Crafty with Melina's products. Aren't these just stunning? They really, really are. I'm sure there's more than 14 here, seem to be gone forever. But they're beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I think there's one more to show you in that set. As I say, we're already very busy on those. That is just one of the sets there, 354180. Let me just go through the other set for you as well. So this is the darks. So you've got those larger areas, but again, if you wanted to cut those out, you could do. Use them as they are, trim them down in any which way. Oh, that's lovely. Lovely splodgy background there. You've got florals, you've got bubbles, you've got all sorts of wonderful designs. I'm recognising some of the detail from past stencils as well here as well. So you may find that you've already got stencils and stamps that work with these papers. But do you know whether you have or you haven't? They're just very inspirational and just as they are. I love that. That's almost like a canvas in itself, isn't it? That is absolutely beautiful. So again, you've got various pieces. You've got they're all A4, but you get separated areas there if you want them. The toppers. Oh, now that's nice. Do like these a lot. I think people have been waiting for these, haven't they? We're very busy on them. 354180, absolutely beautiful. Let me just show you each and every one because you really need to see the beauty of these. Oh, that butterfly, gorgeous. So many ways of working with these, and the quality is absolutely exceptional. There we are. Absolutely stunning, aren't they? Right, but we do have more, and you've already found our next item as well, the white grey board. And if you're thinking, well, what does that mean, white grey board? It's either white or it's grey. It can't be both. Well, yes, it can, because what you get with these, you get white on one side and grey on the other. So you've got the best of both, because that means if you want to go directly on with your paints and your inks and things already onto the white, you don't necessarily have to put gesso on first or put any sort of finish on there. But if you want to go with your finishes, you've got the option of using the other side as well. Nice to decorate both sides. Why leave one out? Because you can flip these over. This is where I said you've got those little trading coins as well. If you pop those bits out and turn these into a door hanger, do not waste these bits. They're there for a use. £9.99 for these as well. Absolutely gorgeous, very useful. I'm going to be using those in demonstration. There we are, 705023, and you are getting the plaques and the door hangers there, so you can see in view there we've got both sets. They are gorgeous. Now the next item, wow, you found this one. Almost 20% of the stock has already gone on the journal set. This is great because you have got your journal covers there. If you wanted to use them as individual pages, you could do, but if you wanted them just as your fronts and your backs and put your own pages in, that's a great option. You've also got the smaller pieces here as well. You have got the rings to go into these, so you can put these together, use them whichever way you want. Now you've got the 3x5 and the 8x8 pieces there. So lovely, lovely item, this one, for £10.99 as well. That's incredible value. Once again, you've got the white and the grey on the board there, so the white side and the grey side, so you've got the best of everything. No wonder we're busy on that one. 226965, that is your item number. Coming up next, these are gorgeous. Now then, you don't have to choose because you're going to get all of these. So we've got Melina's masks here. These are fabulous. I love anything that's circular, got bubbles in. I like my mandalas. I love anything floral and leafy. You've got all those different items and elements within this one set. Now you're saving £6 here, £23.94. It's going to get you the whole set. You can see the names of them there, but look at them visually. You can see the opportunity you've got of working with these in so many different ways with so many mediums again. Item number 855081. Now we've got loads of mediums for you. I'm going to be using a lot of them throughout the demonstrations as well. Have a look on the website. You'll find all of the mediums there. Don't forget your gessos, your various paints, lots of mediums such as crackle glaze, texture paste is in there as well. You've got your fine, your holographic, you've got your sand one as well. Do you know, there's everything that you would want, and look at the reviews. Great reviews there for the That's Crafty products. fabulous, absolutely fabulous. Right, okay, so first demonstration. Now we've got the amazing stamps in the one day special, so I'm going to be using those. I've got a little bit of spritz on my board here, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to cover that up anyway. So I'm using one of the door hangers, and I'm going to use the white side. Now you don't have to prime that if you don't want to. I must admit I did put just a very thin coat of gesso on there anyway, just to make sure I've got a really good key, but I didn't need to do that actually because I'm going to do a lot more with this as well. So I'm going to bring in some of the multi-purpose paints first of all. Now these are on a pick and mix, the paint, so any two for £9.99, great value. They are water-based. Oh, they're £14.99. Sorry, we had the wrong details up there. I just looked at the figure. £14.99. You're going to get any three there, pick and mix paint. So you've got lots of colours to choose from. I'm going to go with lime green. I'm going to go with Midnight, which is a very dark blue, and I'm going to go with I'm going to go with a lighter blue as well, bright blue, and then I'm going to bring in the light blue in a little while as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with my lime green first of all. I'm going to give all these a shake just before I get going. I tend to work from the lids, so let's give these a bit of a shake, and I'll start with the lime green. And I've got a paintbrush and I'm just going to randomly just kind of splodge this in patches all over my door hanger. So no set pattern at all, just kind of splodge it wherever. Okay, so if you've got a favourite colour, then I would suggest put more of that favourite colour on there, but you want a nice mix. And it's going to look messy, you'll think what on earth is she doing before it looks right. Okay, so then I'm going to go with this one is the bright blue, and I'm going to, same brush, doesn't matter if it mixes a little bit, just going to go in and start to fill in some of those areas, just bringing that all together. And then I'm going to go with a bit of the Midnight as well, same thing, not changing the brush, just going to go with it straight from the lid, try not to contaminate the actual pots, but you know, you can sort of use the same brush. If I keep cleaning this off, it wouldn't matter, but I like the fact that you mix those colours together as well. So we're getting that variation of colour. Okay, so that will do. I'm just going to give that a quick blast off, dry that off a little bit. So I'm going to get my heat gun. Just dry that off before I do the next layer. Now details are on the screen there for the pick and mix with the paints. You have got lots of colours to choose from, as I say. Oh, there's all sorts of paints on there in fact. There are some metallic ones as well. Lots of bright colours, dark colours, your whites on there. Everything that you would need. Just going to have to turn this up the speed. Sorry if I'm quiet for a minute. Right, it's drying up nicely. It's not going to take long at all. Now then, the masks that we've got on the show I absolutely love. So I'm going to bring one of those in next. Not quite camouflage that, but it's similar, isn't it? Right, now we're busy for the masks as well. 20% of the stock has gone. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to have to do this in two pieces because it's not long enough for the whole of this, and I am going to cover all this up. So I'm going to use the light blue from the multi-surface paint now. Just make sure I've got plenty in the lid. And then I'm using a sponge. You could use a paintbrush, you could use a sponge pad, you can use whatever you want, but I'm just going to go in and just kind of stipple over the top, using my light blue right over everything, and as soon as I get to the bottom of this I can just move the stencil down a little bit. So I'm going to have to just shake that back into the lid and pick some more paint up. There we go. I'm trying not to tip too much out onto my mat because I know I'm going to get really messy anyway, so the more I can keep in the pot, the better. Right, so just holding that in place, it's not going anywhere, I don't have to tape it down. Some nice paint over the top, and then I'm just going to peel that back. And you can see now, because the colour's underneath there, you don't see that much of it now, you see more of the top layer. Just going to move this stencil down. I'm going to go again. Try not to sort of smudge over where I've been. You could work with the stencil either way up actually, it doesn't have to be this way up. So just working my way to the bottom. And then just lift that as well. Just pop that out of the way, put the lid on before I go and knock that over. Right, so what I'm going to do now is just dry that off a little bit as well. Just give it a quick blast. Right, we are going to use as well some of the stamps from the one day special, but I'm kind of building my layers first. And don't forget, you can decorate both sides of the grey board as well, so if you wanted any sort of 3D decoupage, do your backgrounds first of all before you stick anything else on them. Right, just got a little bit of extra paint there. I'm trying to bring in as many mediums as I can so you can see, you know, a good wide variety of what we've got on offer for you today. So, right, what I'm going to do now, one of the colours I used was the bright blue. That was used on the background, so I'm just going to open that again a little bit, and I'm just going to take the other end of my sponge, just work that into the sponge a little bit, and I'm just going to catch that around the edge. Use it like a distress ink really, just make sure I've got plenty of paint there. And that's kind of pulling it all together. Always works to put that border on. Now there's still a lot I'm going to do to this actually, but we're bringing the stamps in a little while. So just going all the way around the edge. The paints, because they're water-based, you can water them down, you can make your washes with them, you can mix them together, you can use them straight from the pot. There's so many uses. They are multi-surface as well. Which is great, so you can paint on all sorts of different mediums and products. Great for your MDF, your cardstock, your grey board, everything that you would need. Right, now, so you've kind of got that border around there, which is working very, very nicely. But I'm going to do more to it before I'm going to bring the stamp in next. I could do some on the background, but I'm going to bring the stamp in next because I'm conscious of time and that we don't want to spend too long sort of just building the backgrounds up. Now, these are big stamps as well, bigger than the images on the packaging. So this one, I'm not sure which set it's from, but it's past the one day special, getting them all anyway, but individually, I'm sure we can find the name of this one in a second. Let me just get my packet and I can tell you what the name is hopefully, because they're all in sets, aren't they? So this is set number 7. Set number 7. So individually, if that's what you want, there we go, that's the one. So what I'm going to do is just stamp this into the centre of my little hanger. I've already stamped some of these out onto some card as well. Now, it doesn't matter if this doesn't print fully because I am actually going to be covering it up, but this is my guideline. So if it's not fully stamped and you see some of it disappearing, it really doesn't matter. Okay, so that's down. What I have got already is 3 images stamped out with the same stamp. Now, I've stamped onto Pink Frog smooth cardstock, which is fabulous. You can see there, so that's absolutely great. And then I'm just going to pop, for a minute, I'm just going to pop that to one side and I'm going to bring in some of the inks that we've got on the show. Now we've got pearl inks, we've got satin inks as well. I'm going to go with the satin inks. They are a pick and mix, so it's any two that you want. I'm going to use, oh there's so many colours again here. I'm going to use yellow, red and also violet. No, I'm not. I'm going to go for deep purple. No, which one shall I go for? Deep, it doesn't matter actually. Deep purple or violet doesn't really matter. Right, just get my brush. So what I'm going to do first of all, give them a bit of a shake. And I'm going to paint in the flowers. I'm not going to paint in the one on the door hanger. So I'm just going to go over the top, just, you know, you don't have, this is a water brush I'm using, but there's no water in it. I'm just going straight with the ink. It's a dry brush, so to speak. So just going in first of all, and you can see you can pull the colour out, you can keep it very pale, you can, you know, build the colour up as well. If you want to go a little bit darker, put it on a little bit heavier. But I'm going in with the red first. I'm going to do the same on this flower as well. Just again, just a loose colour. It doesn't matter if I'm going over the edge either because I'm going to cut these out. So don't worry if you smudge over the edge, there's no problem with that at all. So you can be as messy as you like with this. Now I have got one that I made earlier, but I used a different flower as well. So remember the stamp that I've used here is from the one day special, set number 7. Now the poppy head isn't normally red, but do you know what, just just for ease, I'm just going to paint that in anyway. Right, I'm going to go with the Satin Ink next in the violet. And I'm just going to add a little bit of darker colour. And I'm doing it while the ink's wet, I'm not letting it dry. I'm just kind of going in with the darker colour in the centre. And around where I think it would look natural, a little bit darker. Now use the packaging as inspiration as well, because you can see the colours on there. You know, it does help if you're not sure where to go. I'm no colourist, but it doesn't matter because, you know, these stamps are so beautiful, the images are so beautiful that you don't have to be perfect about anything. It really doesn't matter. Now I'm just going to wipe that and go back in with the red again. Oh, now 10% of the one-day special has already gone. And once it's gone, it's gone. I don't know if we said that. Did we say that earlier? Once it's gone, it's gone. So you need to be quick with it. Take advantage of the flexi, of course. We're in the middle of our event, so do take advantage of that. So we're just building up that colour. Do you know what? It doesn't matter if you're not neat with this. It really doesn't matter. So I'm just sort of blending those colours together. And I'm just going to add a little bit of the purple or the violet into the bud here as well, just to bring that colour out. Do email in as well if you're there watching and you want to say hello. It would be lovely to hear from you. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that, just add that little bit more red over this one as well, bring that colour in. I'm going to leave the bud with more of the lilac or the violet colour there. I'm going to blast that off just so it dries it. Now remember, because you're using inks and paints, make sure you use the right sort of ink. I'm using Picket Fence because I just love it. It's a hybrid ink, but of course you can use your VersaFine Clair, those sorts of inks as well. Let me just dry these off. So there's lots of layers to this demo. Right, just while that's finishing off a little bit more, I didn't put the yellow in the middle, but I'll come back to that. I'm just going to pop that away just for a second. Coming back to that, I better put the lid on this before I mess it up. I'm coming in with another mask now, and I'm going, you're getting them all so you don't have to choose. Oh, a quarter of the stock has gone of these. I don't know if we can see which one I've got there. Can you see which one? But you're going to get them all, but I love the bubbles, so I'm going to use some of those. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring in the white gesso that we've got from That's Crafty, which is fabulous. Just take the top off, and I'm actually going to use my finger with this, and I'm just going to pick out some more bubbles. And now don't forget, it always works best just to sort of go off the edge in places as well. Don't sort of keep everything in the middle, have some disappearing off the edge. I'm kind of working around that image, but because I'm going to cover the stamped image up, it really doesn't matter if I go over the top a little bit as well, because you want some of them to look as though they're disappearing behind a little bit. So I'm just going to add 1 or 2 bubbles. I'll go with 1 or 2 different sizes as well. Right, now we're getting queues on the phone line, so if you can go to the website, it's the quickest and easiest way to shop. If you can't, do hang on in there, we will get to you as soon as possible. Right, I'm just going to get a little more in the way of bubbles here. I want 1 or 2 different sizes. Okay. One down here. And then we'll just go for 1 or 2 little small ones as well. Right, let's have some little ones. Just there, 1. Oh, Rosemary's emailed in and she says, the stamps are amazing. Yes, they are, Rosemary. You're quite correct about that. They are absolutely fabulous. They really are. And the fact that we've got a couple of others that are individually available as well, they are really nice also. They really are. It's a fantastic collection. Right, okay, I think we'll just do 1 more disappearing off the edge there, and then I'm going to do the next step. Right, so we've got the bubbles there. So what I'm going to do then, I asked, well, I didn't ask, I was looking for another stamp that had got some bubbles on it, and I couldn't find one. Didn't have one in my stash, so I thought, right, I'll make my own bubbles. We've got the mask, but also I've got a bottle top. I'm going to use that. So I've got a little bit of black gesso here as well. Just going to put some onto my mat with my old brush. I'm just going to start to overstamp 1 or 2 black bubbles as well. Doesn't matter if it doesn't fully stamp. Doesn't matter if it goes over the top of the white ones as well. Just picking up a little bit of colour there. And it's coming together. Don't forget, I am going to overlay the image. That's there just as a guide, so you don't have to worry about the fact that that's disappearing. It will be brought back. Okay, so we'll make that do with the bubbles. And we're getting to the point nearly where I'll put that on top. Right, a fine liner pen, another great idea, because we've got the white bubbles with the gesso, which is the That's Crafty gesso. So I'm just going to go around those with my black pen. Just going around the edge. It doesn't matter if you're not neat. It doesn't matter if it's not quite circular. It really doesn't matter. You know, the image that you're seeing here isn't a perfect image. It's mixed media. It doesn't have to be perfect by any means. And because I've got the white there, I'm just going to add 1 or 2 little black marks on the edges of the white bubbles. I'll miss one. And I like the fact that in areas, if you look at this one here, it fades out on the side. It's not a really solid white there. Now what I'm also going to do, where I've got the little black bubbles, I've got a Posca pen, or if you use any paint pen, you can do the same thing. And I'm just going to add some little white highlights into the black bubbles, just to bring those out. And then what I'm going to do is start to cut out my flowers. Now, because I've done one of these a little bit earlier, I've got a different flower from the 1 day special. So all I would do now, 20% of the stock has gone on the 1 day special. Because the leaves on this one are quite big, I could colour those in and actually cut them out. If I bring in a sample that I did a little bit earlier, let me just move this one out of the way. Using one of the other flowers from the 1 day special, you can see I've actually painted in the leaves on this one because they were a little bit more tricky to cut out, but I've cut out the flower heads and decoupaged them. If I just tilt that up, you can see I've got that depth there. Then a little bit of scribble around the edge, and that's it done. So it's all about building those layers up, building up the layers of the flowers. Look at how you can decoupage them. I'm keen to move on, so I'm going to finish this one off a little bit later, but you can see how that's going to come together. A little bit of scribble around the edge as well, and some black ink, and that gives you your border. So we've got 2 different styles there. We've got the plaque, and we've also got the door hanger there as well. Now I think Fiona's going to come back in a little while, so I'm going to go off, and I'll be cutting my little flowers out. We've got the Easter Flexi VT to show you now, so just watch this.
Welcome to Hochanda's Easter Extra Flexi event. Join us from 6 p.m. Thursday the 9th of April to 6 p.m. Tuesday the 14th of April, as we'll be offering you an extra special treat to help ease the cost of your Easter purchases. All of your crafting favourites will be here with us, celebrating the Easter break by demonstrating and showcasing their latest products. So, not only will we reduce the Flexi Basket value from £60 to £30, but you will also be given the opportunity to spread the cost of your purchase over 3 exciting Flexi Buy payments instead of 2. So get cracking and take advantage of our Easter Extra Flexi event from the 9th of April at 6 p.m.
Absolutely, split it over 3 payments. Indeed, so we're 20% of the 1 day special gone already, and once it's gone, it really has gone. And I can see, I don't know what Kathryn's going to do tomorrow, but good luck. Anyway, 1 day special, you've got 11 stamps in this beautiful flower collection. Keep your emails in. We love hearing from you, and Kathryn loves the company as well. £31.97 for all of those 11 stamps, 232083. And as you can see, some of the samples are just absolutely exquisite in terms of the inventive. I mean, that one's been sewn as well. If we look at that one as well, isn't that gorgeous? I don't know if you see the sewing on the background, but beautiful, beautiful samples here sent in by the design team in terms of what you can do with these exquisite stamp collection. 232083. just going to show you some other stamps and what else we've got on the show, because we've got some beautiful papers. Now the stencils, I absolutely love those stencils. 40% of the stencils have gone. You saw Kathryn just using the bubble stencil there. You've got the leaf circle, the crisscross. They're so versatile. Look at that, those two end ones there. You've got so much in that corner one there with the swirls, bubbles, arches, flowers, crisscross there. £23.94, 855081. Do shop ahead on the paper pack. It is gorgeous. This picture, no offense, but it belies the beauty. The papers in the flesh are even more gorgeous. You could have the lights, the darks. Personally, I'd go for both. They are some of the most beautiful papers I've ever seen. They're so interesting. There's so much going on in there. It's like Kathryn's been stamping and oxidizing and overlaying and distressing. They're just amazing. £9.99 for the lights and brights or darks, but I'd get both. Seriously, get both. 354180. You can also get the stamps individually. Oh, favourite of mine. I know I'm not supposed to have favourites. It's nothing to do with me. It's the Flower Collection stamp set 3. Love those. But this is the extra ones. This is set 5. This isn't in the one day special, but as you can see, harmonises with the one day special beautifully. This is stamp 5. You've got that lovely daisy, the tulips there. You've got the corn. You've got the corn. I can't see what I'm saying. The corn. No, it's not cornflower. It's the corn. Well, anyway, it's the corn. And then you've got set 6, set 7, set 4, and set 3. That is in the one day special. My favourite, because I don't know if you've got it, is set 3, because it's got some beautiful backgrounds, some distressing, some bubbles, some lines. It's got some little round circular designs on there as well. Do look at that on the web as well. Shop ahead, see what other extra ones. Oh, that's the one. That's the one. It's not as part of the one day special. I love set 3. That's just me. £13.99, 607 839. But of course, we are focusing on the one day special, and Kathryn's got some more great ideas and products coming up.
If you could see what we have to do to keep our decency in the studio. I'm squeezing through a gap that's big. Right, I'm going to move on to another demonstration, but I'm not going to do all the leaves, but I just want to bring this back in just briefly, because I want to show you how I finished off the flowers as well. So I've already gone around the edge of the board there with the blue paint, but I'm also going to go around with a little bit of black ink as well, because that really does frame everything. And I have cut out very quickly, I've got to say, so I've not done a perfect job of it, but I have cut out the flower heads. I've not done all the leaves yet. I'll do that at a later day, or ready for tomorrow anyway. But I just want to sort of go through how I finish this off a little bit more. So adding that black ink around the edge really does sort of pull that together. It's looking really good now. So using my flowers, you can see I've cut a full flower head out there. And I'm just going to ink the edges where I've cut out as well, because that adds definition and it also hides any sort of miscuts as well. Now almost a quarter of the stock has now gone. Is that the one day special? The one day special, almost a quarter of the stock has gone. Wow. Right, okay, second layer, I've just taken those 3 petals in the centre. I do need to add a bit of yellow ink to the middle, but you'll see this come together afterwards. So I'm just adding a little bit of black ink as well to this, and it really defines those edges and pulls it together. Let me just pop that. I will put some 3D gel under this as well. And that's the way I would build up the flowers. I would do the same with my other flowers and my little bud as well. I'll bring out the stalk and the leaves in a little while. So I will continue on with this, but just to show how it starts coming together. The only other thing that I would probably do is use my Posca pen and add some little white highlights, maybe to 1 or 2 of the petals as well, which really does make a difference. So that's how I would finish that off, and I will do it, and I'll post it on Facebook as well. But I'm keen to move on to another demonstration, so let's do that. Right, now the Pink Frog cardstock. I've got some watercolour here. Now, I was inspired by Melina herself, and I found a little trick that I thought was really interesting. I've not seen anybody do it before, so I'm going to do the same thing. I've got 2 pieces of watercolour card here, and I'm just going to tape those together so they're touching. Turn it over. I've got a bit of a messy mat. I'm sorry about that. Right, I'm going to grab a piece of card or paper. Let me just get a bit of white card here. And I'm going to tear a couple of edges. I'm going to put one at one side and one at the other. Now I am just going to get a little bit of tape and tape this down So it's just low tap tape. What I'm actually doing here is achieving two cards in one, or the backgrounds to 2 cards in one. In fact, if you've got 4 pieces of watercolour card, you can create 4 cards all in one, and you'll see why as I go through this. So just adding there a little bit of tape to hold that down. Don't want anything to get under there if I can help it. And I'm going to go for another one of the masks, and I'm going to go for this one with the lovely leaves on it. And I'm just going to place that over the top now, so it's overlapping those torn edges. Now, another product that we've also got on the show is the luster sprays. We've got various sprays actually. There's the matte or the luster. Do you know, it was the matte I was going to use, but I couldn't find the colours I wanted, so I'm going for the luster, and I'm going for pink, blue and yellow. Any 3 in a pick and mix for £14.97. So I'm going to go with let's go with a bit of yellow first. Now these are brand new because I didn't get these sent, so I've had to use the ones in the studio. So the reason I'm pumping this is because they've not been used before. Right, so a little bit of yellow, just spray that on. Let's go for a little bit of the pink over the top. Oh, Joe's emailed in. Happy Easter, everyone, she's saying. Oh, lovely. Oh, hi, Joe. Oh, and she highly recommends Melina's designs, and I'm not sort of, the papers are a must. I'm going to do more with the papers tomorrow. If I don't get time this show, I will definitely use them tomorrow. Right, okay, so I've spritzed there with 3 different colours, and I've chosen the colours that I have because I know they will blend really well together. They're going to work beautifully because obviously the yellow and the pink will make an orangey colour. Putting the blue in there, I'm going to get a bit of green coming through as well. I am just going to blot that. I'm going to use my heat gun in a second as well, but I just want to sort of blot that off a little bit. I'm using copier paper, but of course if you've got a different paper, you can make your background. Don't waste it, as Leonie always says, just don't waste it. Just going to bring that stencil away, and I'm going to give that a quick blast before I remove the paper edges as well. So I'm just going to blast this off. Try not to smudge. Now almost half of the stock of the masks have now gone. I'm keeping this quite subtle, but you could go with dark colours with the sprays. It's entirely up to you. Just try that off. I don't want any sort of runny bits there. I'm liking the colour that I've got in the middle with the pink there as well. It's made a very sort of peachy colour, but you can see the yellow and the blue have mixed into a green on this corner. So that's really, really nice. Now I'm not taking the tape away at the minute, I'm just going to peel that back just so you can see what I've got there. So I've got kind of it keeps that torn edge so it looks really effective. Now I am just going to flop those back over just for a second. I'm just going to make sure my mask, I should say, is dried off a little bit. I don't want any ink on there because I'm going to overlay this again. So let's see where it was, got to find the right way. It doesn't matter if I do it as slightly different actually, but I'm just going to very slightly offset that where it's been. Just a tiny bit, and I'm going to go in with, do you know what, I'm going to be brave and go in with black here. I'm just going to add a little bit of shadowing with the black ink there as well. Not too heavy. You don't have to do it everywhere, but just go in a little bit, and then you can always lift up. See how it's looking. Let me just go a little bit more down there. Let me just lift that back so you can see that's sort of pulling out the background a little bit more. You could line it up totally, or you could offset it. You'll get different looks, but I'm just going to bring a little bit more shadow down here as well. Let's have a look at that. I'm quite happy with that. That'll do. That'll do. Right, okay, so I'm going to take these away now. And what I've got are 2 backgrounds, 2 card toppers ready to go there. So I can separate those now. I can use different flowers, different stamps on them. Now I'm going to bring in one from the One Day Special first of all. Let's just see which one I'm going to go for. A quarter of the stock has gone of the One Day Special. So just going quickly. Right, I'm using, which set is this one? I'm using set number 4. Set number 4 now. And I'm taking a couple of different stamps here. Oh, there's a lovely background in there. I'm using 3 of the stamps from this set. Right, okay, right, I'm just going to change my stamps on my block as well. Let's just change this one over. doesn't matter which background I use, but I've just, for some reason, I'm wanting to stamp to the right. So I'm going to bring this one in. So first of all, using 3 stamps from the one set, I'm going to look at the one that, I don't know what the individual names of these are, I don't think there is one, but you've kind of got the 2 flowers together. And I'm going to do second generation stamping with this as well. I don't want it to be too dark, so I'm going to just stamp that off. You could go with a distress ink in the background, but I want it quite light. I'm going to risk it and go with that one now. So let's just go over the top. I want it hanging off the page a little bit as well. So I've just got that little bit of background there. Let's change that one over. And I'm going to go with the other stamp. I like this one. In the same set, again, don't want it too dark, so I'm just going to stamp that off a little bit first. Let's just have that coming in from that corner. Just very clear. I haven't got a grey ink, you see, and I didn't want this really, really dark. I want it quite faded in the background. So I'm just going to go in again. Let's have a couple of these. Let's just start coming over the top there as well. Okay, so we've got our background piece there. So we've got a little bit of interest going on in the background. Then I'm going to bring in some of the Pink Frog cardstock again. And this time, I'm going to stamp, same set, it's exactly the same set, it is from the one day special. I'm going to stamp this flower. This is beautiful, and this time I do want it to be dark, so I'm going in with my black ink and making sure I've got plenty of ink on there as well. Now I haven't got a stamping platform with me or a mat, which would help, so I'm hoping this will give me a nice impression. Our tables are a little bit bouncy. Just lift that straight up. Oh, that's nice, that's lovely. I'm going to do a couple of those. Again, actually, 2 or 3. I could have had that a little bit further to the side there. But I'm going to, let's just do a couple for now. I can always stamp another one out later. If you do find you get an impression that's not great and you decoupage, then obviously you pick out your best one for the layer that you're going to see most of. And that way you can get around any that misprint a little bit. So what I'm going to do now is colour this one in as well. So using my brush, just give that a little bit of a clean off. We used the inks last time, but of course you have got your paints, you have got other things, but what you can also use are your spritzers as well for painting. So I'm going to use the yellow that I used in the background, and it is the luster. Let's just, you could spritz onto your mat, but I'm just going to pick a little bit up and just start to paint that in. Now I have got a bit of the pink on my brush already, so I'm going to get that orangey tone, but that's fine. That's absolutely fine because it works with the flower that I'm doing. And again here, just using from the spray, picking the ink up from the luster spray itself, just very simply colouring in the flower. Now I'm going to go in with a bit of the pink as well, which will give me more of an orange tone. I could go over the top again with the yellow. I could mix whatever colours I wanted in there. Do you know, there's nothing to stop you bringing in your paints as well and mix your mediums around. Again, just building up those layers, a little bit more ink in places. So from the centre there, you can see that the colour is a little bit brighter. Work with the detail on the stamp. Look at where the lines are. Look at the centre of it. Look at where the shadow would be underneath, where the underneath petals are. So I'm going to bring a little bit of the pink in, just to bring that more of an orangey colour out there. So let's just go underneath a little bit of the orange. Again, it doesn't matter if you go over the edges because you're going to cut this out. Just kind of alternating those colours a little bit. And I would do exactly the same with the other one. Like the first demonstration, I will finish this off and show it you later, but just to see me colouring the same thing doesn't really work so well. Now then, almost 30% of the stock has gone already. This is the launch show, remember. I'm just going to bring in my green grass spray as well. Now this one is a flat matte spray, so there's no luster in this one, but that doesn't mean that you can't paint with it. It's just the same. So let's bring in a little bit of the spray as well. Now if you wanted to use your water brush and put actual spray in there, you could water this down further if you wanted and actually make your own ink brushes up. depends. I think it's safer probably just to use it the way I'm using it, and then you can sort of build those layers. So using just the one green, you can see I can get the darker effect, and if I dry that off and go over the top again, I can really start to build these layers up. Let's have a little bit of a white highlight in the centre of the leaf there. Again, you can pull the colour out. Use your paint pens as well to add details, to add highlights as well. You can do all those different things. I have a couple of more flowers just to paint in there, but I'll come back to those. We'll do that afterwards. Now I could do as I did with the first demonstration. I could stamp directly onto there as a guide if I wanted to play for placement, but I don't really need to. It's a card topper, so I don't really need to do that. But one thing I am going to do to the background first is I'm going to do a little bit of splattering. I just love paint splatters. I just love them. And I am going to be using black. Why not? So I'm just going to water this down a little bit. This is black gesso. I'll find a brush that's going to be decent. A little bit of water on there. We've got different gessos actually. We've got a black texture paste in here as well. We've got the black and white, and we've got the texture paste in the black. What else have we got? We've got the crackle glaze. I'm going to use a bit of that tomorrow, I think. We've got the sand texture as well. In fact, I might bring in, do you know what I'm going to do? Have I got time? What time is it? I have, haven't I? Before I splatter, I'm going to bring in another stencil. Let's have a look what we've got. Oh, now then, this is nice. What about this one? That is lovely. You've got your flower. This is from the set that we've got on. They've been very busy. They've been very, very busy. So I'm just going to, over half of the stock has gone now. Over half the stock gone. Right, okay. So what I'm going to do, I quite like just that flower, but where are we going? I'm just going to go with the fine texture paste and find my spatula. Now these are big tubs, 250 millilitres in each. 250. So this is the fine one. You could add colour to this as well if you wanted, but you know, I'm just going to go over the top of this stencil. No sort of definite areas, just kind of pop it on there so that it's picking out random bits. A bit of detail from the leaf. Let's just come this way a little bit. I love the sound of this. I'm really strange, you know, I love sort of sandpaper sound and very odd. Right, because this is a mask, I can actually go past the edge of it as well, so it's going to sort of define the edge of that flower a little bit more. Let's just peel that back and see what we've got. It's very subtle, but it is there. It is there. I'm going to have to dry that off a little bit though, because otherwise it's going to get smudged. So again, it's all about building those layers up. Now I don't know how long we've got now. We've got, oh look at that, can you see it coming through now? Now I'm drying it out. That's Crafty. Do look at the reviews on the website as well. Do have a good look. I love how that detail's coming out from the stencil now that's drying off. Even though it's the fine texture paste and I've added no colour, that is working really, really well. And the luster's coming through in the background as well, because I used the luster sprays with the stencil initially. That is also coming through. Now that feels dry to touch. I know it won't be fully dry underneath, but it's getting there. It's getting there, so I'm just going to be a little bit careful with it. I am going to come in with my black ink again as well, just to put an edge around this. Then I'm going to put some splatters on it. And then, I don't know if Fiona's got a quick recap to do, and I'll try and get my flower cut out a little bit, just so we can show you that flower on the top of the card as well. So just adding a little bit of ink to the edge, again, that border, and I would mount this onto black card as well afterwards. So now that's starting to sort of pull everything together. You can see the colours coming through. You could go really bright with that, you could go very grungy with that, you could do all sorts of different things. So I'm just going to use my black paint. Why did I put a white top on today? I don't know. I really don't know. So I wanted two splatters in the black. So I have watered that gesso down a little bit. I'm going to go with one or two splots with, splots, is that a word? splodges with my Posca pen as well. I could do it with the gesso, but just for speed, I'm just going to add 1 or 2 with the Posca pen as well. And then I'm going to bring Fiona in and very quickly try and cut my sunflower out as well, just so you can see that coming all together. So let's go over to the website and see what we've got over there. Of course, the one-day specials there, the masks are there, everything that I've just been using is there for you. The journal set, oh, don't forget that journal set, I'm going to be doing a lot with that tomorrow as well. The grey boards there, those papers being very busy this hour as well. But I'm going to hand over to Fiona.
Now, over 30% of the stock has now gone of the one-day special. You are getting 11 of those amazing stamps for £31.97. Those beautiful flowers that from That's Crafty that Kathryn has been using. Absolutely gorgeous, whatever medium you're using. And I do love them with the stencils. I've stolen the papers, everybody. We can get that on 3 flexi-buy payments as well with our Easter Extra special, £10.66. And of course, they will arrive on that first payment. 232083. I've stolen the papers. Joe Channon emailed in. We've got brights and lights and darks and lights. They're just, I need you to see these in the flesh because they're so gorgeous. Look at those. The A4 paper pack, £9.99. Which one am I holding? Is this the brights and the lights or the lights and the darks? Oh, I don't know. Look at that. You see? Looks like Leonie or Kathryn, they've just, I know they're That's Crafty papers, but, you know, they're just amazing. Look at these. This is why you can't miss out the A4 paper. Oh, look at that. It's an artwork in itself. I just want to frame it. So beautiful. So you've got 2 choices there. Get both. Get both. How many are we getting a pack? I've already forgot. 14. Oh, they're just amazing. £9.99. There's your choices. Lights and brights or darks and brights. I'm not sure which one I've got there, but equally beautiful. How are you doing, Kathryn? Are you ready to? And I'll buzz off again, but don't forget we've got all the grey boards as well with the tags and what have you. She's ready? Right. Let's look at those fantastic sets there. £9.99, not to be missed. But don't forget, once that one-day special has gone, get both. Yes, split it into an extra special 3 flexi-buy payment. Don't forget, once it's gone, the one-day special, it has gone. We can't get any more, unfortunately. So do shop ahead on the web and enjoy your crafting with Kathryn.
Okay, now I've only got 1 flower cut out. I will do the second one. I will bring that back in. Now I could stamp the whole image as I did before if I wanted to do that, but a way of changing the stamps would be to draw the stems in yourself, and then you can change. If I just bring in the actual finished or the original stamped image there, you can see I've got those leaves going that way, I've got the flower going that way, and I will put these separate flowers on and decoupage this a little bit. But what if I wanted it facing the other way? What if I wanted to change it? Well, I can, because I can just move this around and draw in my own stem. So that's what I'm going to do. I will stick this down properly afterwards, throwing my pen around. So place things where you want them. So you can see there I've got my leaf and my flower head, and then I'm just going to simply draw a curve in. Just simply draw that in. I can double that up a little bit if I like. I don't want it to be perfectly neat. I want it to kind of look a little bit scribbled. So there I've got my stem. I'm going to come out at the bottom as well and put the stem as though it's curling round that way. I'm going to bring out the stem from the leaf there and that one there as well. So you can change the way the flower looks. And it will look so much better when I've decoupaged that as well and put it on some black card. But just to finish off, I am going to again, because my cutting, I've got to admit, is very rough anyway, because I was trying to do it as quickly as I could. I'm just going to go around the edge with a little bit of black ink again here, because it will define those. Now, I can tell you 1/3 of the stock of the one-day special is now gone. It will be repeated overnight, remember. Don't forget that, repeats overnight. Look at the difference, just adding that bit of ink. I'm going to decoupage that up further as well. But do remember, if you want these, don't hesitate, because we will make sales overnight before we appear again in the morning. Now, I'm going to be back in the morning. I'm going to have more demonstrations ready for you. We'll be using, we're going to be using everything we can, actually. I've got to do something with that journal as well. Now, it's going to be 8 o'clock in the morning. But you can see there, do you know, I'm really liking that. I love the fact that you can change the flowers so easily. But once I've decoupaged that up a little bit more, got that mounted onto some black card, love these stencils with the texture as well there. Just keep something in the background that's not there in your face. It's adding another layer, it's adding more interest for you. But please join me in the morning, of course, as well, and throughout the day tomorrow, and I will be back. How long have we got left, Katie? We've got a minute left, have we? I'm just going to, ooh, let me have a look. I don't think I've got time to decoupage this now, but let's just remind you of one or two of the things that I've used in the show, because I've tried to use as many different mediums as I can that are available on the website. So remember, it was the luster sprays that I painted with and I sprayed with, so you don't have to just spray with them, you can paint with them as well. I've used, in the previous one, I also used the Satin Inks as well, which are really good for painting with. You do get also a different version of these as well. The multi-surface paint I absolutely love. I used that on the first demonstration again as the background, and also used it with my stencil. You can water that down, you can do a wash with it, you can add detail. Gesso was used for the bubbles in there as well, so I've used the black and the white gesso. Tried to use everything that we've got on the show. The one-day special, of course, all available in individuals as well. Lots to see. We're about to go. I will share on Facebook, so I'll see